I don't know about you, but I feel like really tired today. That's why I have the delicious Bang Pina Colada flavor.
Are we recording?
Yeah, it looks like a freaking sponsorship. We're not sponsored by them. This is just the only 300 milligram caffeine drink they had at that store I went to.
Gabe, you've made the sale. So tell me a little bit more about Bang. And
Bang, the
perhaps
company?
the pina colada flavor you have.
Well, so far I'm sick to my stomach, but that doesn't mean that I'm getting the highest level of potent brain and body fuel.
That sounds great. Can I hear some of the nutrition facts?
Yeah. So first off, 0 calories. Hopefully it gets me a little excited for this episode. Not that I'm not already.
Yeah, you see.
See this?
Yikes. Just cut that off. Just cut that one piece off.
Why is my hair the way it is, you know? All like weird and curly. Anyways, point is, your hair is looking mad tight. What were you doing? Why is it all wet? You didn't take a shower, did you?
Well, I did earlier, but apparently it still snows on February 16th.
Yeah, where you are, it does.
At least where I live, right?
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a bummer on my day. And
You had
that's
to
all I've
shovel
got to say because I did. I've kind of taken on that brunt of the responsibility while I'm at home. But again, it hasn't been like that bad because it snowed like maybe 5 or 6 times. Okay, maybe a little bit more, but really not that much since I've been home.
Dang, dude.
And a couple times it's only been a dusting. We're talking like one layer. We're talking like maybe an inch, which is Bush League.
And you basically just let that melt.
Yeah, at that point, I would rather just sit and watch it melt. It's not worth me getting up and shoveling snow.
Right.
But I remember, did we ever, I don't know if we talked about, yeah, we did. Now that I think about it.
Did we
But
talk
I'll
about
bring
the
it
story?
up again. But when I
don't think we did.
I think okay. Well, I'll just tell it again. I don't care. When I went and stayed like the weekend at your house, I guess it was just a day, and then I spent the night and then the next full day. It literally snowed probably 6 feet when I was at your house, or it felt like it. Okay, realistically, there was probably 3 feet of snow on the ground. Like it was a ton. It came halfway up my car. It was at least 3 feet.
Dang.
And we got charged with shoveling that next morning. Me, you, and your brother Luke.
Yeah.
And it was a process, mainly because we kept getting distracted and like having snowball fights and throwing snow at each other. And the other part just because it was really hard. Snow was like heavy, bro. And we had like 5 cars in the driveway, and it was just a lot. But that was probably the most fun shoveling experience that I've had, even though it took us borderline 3 hours.
Yeah, it was. Well, I remember we were out there. Me and Luke were out there first, shoveling, hanging out, throwing snowballs and stuff. And then I was like, dude, Alex is just inside chilling. So I had to come get your butt.
For a mad half hour.
Yeah. I had to come get your butt out there to help. And you're like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. You said something.
Yeah, bro. As I'm literally in like my sneakers and short sleeve shirt, I'm like, bruh.
Yeah, dude, I'm not prepared for this.
That was fun though. That was a core memory.
Core memory of me when I still lived near you. Good times.
Dude, that's actually a good topic. Do you have any core memories that are just so core?
Dude, I see a lot of those little TikToks or whatever videos online of people, and it's like, this is a core memory for me. I'm like,
yeah,
man, I must be living, like, my mindset's always either in the now or in the future. So I rarely look back in the past and like think of something that I'm like, oh man, that affected me or that changed me, and like I always reflect on it. Other than like large things like high school or the mission, where it's like a big chunk of time. Other than that, like there's not like any single moments that come to my mind that are like, yo, that moment changed me forever. I don't think I was really conscious until like post high school.
Dude, that's so funny you say that, because I've felt so similar. I'm like, bro, like, yeah, I don't think I was like in control of my thoughts, my body, or I don't think I was in charge of anything until probably about maybe 17, 18, maybe around there. But before that, I don't know what was happening. I was on autopilot. I was not present. I don't know where I was or what I was doing.
It's such a weird
I
vibe.
can't. Yeah, I'm not responsible for anything that happened except for the last 5 years. And I'm sticking by that.
Sticking by that. No, yeah, for sure. I feel like now there's like conscious process of thoughts that go through my head when I make a decision, or it's just like I'm thinking. But yeah, prior to graduating high school, it was all just kind of like just moving along life. Everyone's got those memories of like when they decided something, or when they're like, I'm gonna remember this for the rest of my life, and I'm like, I don't think I ever thought about the future until like late high school. But
Gabe, I think you need to really reflect on Master Oogway. He's that super wise turtle from Kung Fu Panda,
of course.
And he said, he says, yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery, but today, crap.
But now is the present.
No.
Oh, today is a gift. That's why they call it the present.
Dang it. That's what it was. Okay.
Dude,
yesterday's history, tomorrow's mystery. Today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. That's Master Oogway. So
yeah, dude, that's genius.
I don't want to throw all that wisdom at you on the pod, but and again, that really doesn't have a ton of relevance to what you were talking about.
No, it does. I think all of us can learn to live more like in the present, appreciating the now, because the way that they put it is like, if you're worried about the future, you have anxiety, and if you're worried about the past, you have depression. But if you're just focused on the now, then you have a clear mind and you have peace or whatever. So it's like, yeah, it's so true. Like the past, like doesn't really matter, and the future, you don't know what's gonna happen. It's never gonna happen the way you think it is. So just live in the now. And now it's hard to do that because basically everything is like, what am I doing tomorrow? What am I doing a year from now? What happened in the past that affected me? That's like your main thoughts. But if you could just live purely in the now, it's really nice. And I feel like social media does not help with living in the now.
No.
Not at all.
That's actually a really solid point. And my two idols are Master Oogway and Michael Jordan.
Wow.
Yeah. And Master Oogway is throwing out straight facts there. Okay, Kung Fu Panda might be the most underrated Pixar, I think it is.
I think it's DreamWorks.
DreamWorks?
Yeah.
Might be the most underrated just animated movie of all time. Why are we sleeping on Kung Fu Panda? The message, the moral, and just the energy of that movie.
It's sick.
Is all time. It's all time. I love Master Oogway, dude, and I love Master Shifu and the Fab Five or whatever they're called. Anyways, sidetrack did you ever watch the Michael Jordan documentary, The Last Dance?
I did not.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
And I know you're not really. I am ticked. I know you're not really into basketball, and really don't have to be, because that's how good of just a documentary it is in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
But there was one of Michael Jordan's, I think it was like one of his security guards or one of his athletic trainers or somebody who had been with him throughout his whole career. So they had observed him. They had studied him for basically, the entire time he played ball.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, what makes Michael Jordan the greatest athlete? We're not talking basketball player. What makes him the greatest athlete, basketball player, everything of all time? What makes him this? They're like, and this guy was saying, like, it's not his athletic ability, even though it's second to none. It's not his IQ. It's not his love for the game. It's not his skill. It's not any of these things that you think would make him the best of all time.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, he just delivered it so beautifully. He said, it's because he had this innate ability to be in the moment. He had this ability to be present, to where he could put every thought, all of his energy, and all of his effort and talent into one time. And he wasn't distracted with, again, if he had missed a shot or if he had done something wrong in the past. He wasn't concerned with what was going to happen in the next quarter or in the next moment. He just had this crazy, keen idea and ability to just be here and be now.
Yeah.
And that's what made him so great. And I was like, man, like, that's insane. Like That's like such a beautiful thought that he was
Yeah.
nowhere else than in the present.
Dude, I think that well, it's hard to learn that lesson because so many are preaching the opposite. And this is where like there's contradiction in what you should be doing. So for example, like Michael Jordan, they say that he's got such a keen ability to focus on the now. And so when he misses a shot, it doesn't affect him emotionally, right? It's like now it's in the past. He's gone. He's on to the next thing. He's focusing on like the current, task at hand. But there's so many people that say, okay, write down your goals and think about the future and feel what it feels like to attain what you want to attain. So I'm sure there was times Michael Jordan was thinking about winning all these championships that he won, right? And then they also say like learn from the past, right? You're gonna make mistakes. You have to learn from the past. History repeats itself, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like, how are you supposed to learn from the past and look toward the future positively and with faith, but also live in the moment? It's like this is where I think becoming a master of oneself comes in, because you have to figure out how to do all three at once, but like, or maybe do all three, but like at different times, and to know which time is right for each one of those things. Because if you're in the game, you can't be worried about how we lost the last 2 or 3 games and we need to win this one to continue on. You can't worry about that. You have to just be like, here I am shooting a 3-pointer right now, and you can't be thinking like, oh, I can't wait until I win, because it's like you're not going to win unless you win right now. So yeah, it's just like some crazy psychology, all that that stuff.
Yeah. And what was going through his mind, or how he was able to do that. I mean, I don't know if he's been asked about that, or if that's really been brought up into detail, but I would love to pick his brain on if he thinks he was good at that, or if that's just something he was born with, or if he had to work at it.
Or if he even realizes he's doing it.
Yeah.
It's just how he is.
I don't know, man. And we say like things or people or moments are different, right? Meaning they're better, they're just goated.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, he just is.
Dude, he's sick.
He's different. He just is.
I would say this. So I think that probably all people that are really, truly great, and it's easy to just kind of focus on sports because it's something that everyone really relates with. And
it's easy to scale wins, losses, talent.
You can just see that they're great, right? It's not just like something that you say. Because like I would say that Tiger Woods and Tom Brady and Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and whoever all have a very similar situation, right? It's like that classic Kobe Bryant moment when somebody asks him like, well, how do you feel? Like you're 3 games ahead. And he's like, what's there to be excited about? Like the job's not finished. And it's just like, you know what I mean? They're all in the now. And Tom Brady is like in the game for the Super Bowl. He's not getting too excited because they're ahead, or he's not getting too upset because he messed up a throw or got an interception. It's like, you know what I mean? Like they are like rock solid mentally and emotionally.
Yeah.
And then they can just focus on the now. And I'm sure it's the same for Tiger Woods. Like just plays the game and plays it well and focus on the now, and that's how he wins. It's crazy stuff.
It's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. It really is.
Because then I just look at my life and
talking about it.
I'm like, okay, I'm like, how could I apply that in my life? Okay, like what am I doing? Because I spend a lot of time thinking about the future. And like I said before, I don't spend a ton of time, thinking about the past, but I like to look at the past and go, okay, like what mistakes have I made and how can I learn from it? And then I move on really quick. We kind of talked about that last time. It's like if something happens, let yourself feel it for a second, but just move on and learn from it. But I've consciously practiced like being in the present. Like if I'm doing something, let's say I'm just hanging out with my little brother, or if I'm just with my family, naturally the tendency is to like pull out the phone or like, start like, I gotta be productive. But sometimes I'm like, yo, just like put your phone away, sit and relax and just be in the moment and enjoy this moment right now. Which is really healthy. It feels good. But I'm also like, okay, so if I apply that same idea to the productive part, you know what I mean? Like, because you just have to show up every single day. Kobe Bryant and all those guys, like they just went and practiced and they went to the games and they showed up every single day and they did the small things consistently. But I think it's way too easy to get distracted about like, dude, when I'm here, when I'm a millionaire, when I'm this, when I'm that, like when I finally make it, like it's gonna be so nice. And I'm like, and then you're thinking about that too long and you don't show up to do the small things that you should do every day. Anyways, those are my thoughts.
I think that's great, man. I think I love that. And I don't know. I think it's it is also hard to, I think we kind of idolize or review them as like so different. And then like I go to a Jazz game and I just like they're literally just like a normal person
Yeah.
who's really, really talented at something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know why that. I just, grown up just idolizing these basketball players. And then as the older I get, I'm like, dude, like there's literally kids younger than me in the NBA.
Yeah, it's insane.
And they're just like normal guys. I mean, obviously they're extremely talented and gifted, but it's not like they have so much more value or they're so much like better at life just because they're super, super, super good at one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It's just like so surreal when you see celebrities or you see people like just like in a normal setting. And you're like, dude, like it's really not that different. It's just not.
Yeah, it is weird. You spend all this like, time. Idolizing is kind of a strong word, but like we look up to them.
Looking up to.
Yeah, like you get excited about what they do, and like for me, a lot of times it's been like music people, artists and singers and producers and stuff, or like business type people, and yeah, and you think that they're like some different being, almost like a different species, and you're like, oh man, like, and it's like it's hard to not feel like you couldn't do that, you know what I mean? But when you really think about it, it's like you have just as much potential as them to do like just as much or more. And I remember, you go to a concert and you see them up there like singing and whatever, and it's like when you see them physically and not like on a screen for the first time, you realize
it changes, bro.
It's a dude. It's just a guy. And like one big thing for me, like I remember on my mission I met Elder Holland, and nothing against like shorter people, but like, as a kid, you always look up to these people and you always think they're going to be bigger, stronger, you know what I mean? But like Elder Holland's like really short. He's probably like, I don't know, like 5'8" or something like that, And I'm like, and I shake his hand and I'm just like, holy cow, like you are like amazingly smart and a spiritual giant, but also just a man like me or anyone else. Mm-hmm. It's trippy. I remember like, I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but when you grow up and you look up to these people, you think they're perfect. And I remember sitting down with my dad, and because I was obsessed with Apple and Steve Jobs when I was like 12, and we read the wiki on Steve Jobs, and it talked all about like his drugs and leaving his first wife and not paying child support, like being kind of a jerk, and your view of like this perfect person kind of comes crumbling down. And the same thing sometimes happens with whether it's like older brothers, sisters, or aunts, uncles, parents. When you start to realize that the people that you thought were perfect aren't perfect, it's kind of trippy. And that's when I feel like you like gain a lot of maturity, when you realize no one's perfect, and like that's okay, because like that's just the way it's meant to be, Mm-hmm. But at first it's hard. I remember like having some real emotional trauma from realizing that certain people in my life were not as perfect as I thought they were.
Yeah, no, that's a good argument, or that's a good train of thought. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah. Sorry, bro.
No, that's great. That's great. And I love every second of that. But those are some of my favorite videos when they're like, there's so much going on, and the caption reads like, "There's a lot to unpack here." It's like I feel that way with this topic, because there are just so many things that go into this.
All you can do is just kind of sigh.
But
yeah.
Yeah. But I did want to say, going back to your being in the moment thing, mm-hmm. I have tried to do that recently with just like over Christmas and Thanksgiving and the Super Bowl and stuff. Just like really sitting there and like breathing in and being like, yo, check this. Like everybody right now will never be the same age. It will never be the same circumstances. People will get married. People will have kids. People will grow old, and people will die. This has been such like a prevalent thing on my mind lately. Like we are literally like, and I've said literally a lot, which is really bugging me, but we are actually probably around however many generations. We're talking like hundreds of generations. Maybe not that. I don't know the math. It feels like that though, to where there's going to be somebody talking about this in 100, 200, 300 more years, and I'll be dead. Yeah. Which is just like a crazy thought. And people have had these conversations positively. Yeah. 1,000 years ago. Like we're not that different, and our time is just like so short. And like I remember like before I left on my mission, I was sitting there and like around my sisters. I was like, man, like this is crazy. Like when I get back, like things are gonna be so different. and then I get back and they have kids, and then like they're there and their husbands are getting older, my parents are getting older, and like I'm growing into like my mid-20s. Like it's just nuts, man, how fast it goes.
I know.
And things will never be as they are right now. And so I think you brought up a good point of just trying to, and it's not like a frantic thing like, oh my gosh, like I got to soak this in before it's over. It's just like, it's going to leave whether you like it or not. So just like while you're here, just kind of be happy about it and just acknowledge the people you're around and let them know you love them. And I think that's all you can do.
I think that's exactly why gratitude is so important.
Yes.
And I think
Preach.
it's probably like one of the most important things to being happy. People wonder like, how do I be happy? How do I not feel sad? It's like, if you're truly grateful for the position that you're in and for who you are and for where you are and what's going on, like however you can find the silver lining, you'll find some internal joy. And yeah, because when you look at your life and you think, okay, like I'm sure all of us have like something that we wish was different. Oh, I wish I was here. I wish I was there. I wish this was happening. But it's just important to do what you did and look around and just be like, this is going to be different tomorrow, and it's going to be different the next day, and it's never going to be the same. And so it's like that Brad Pitt, you know, I think it's in Troy when he's like, the gods envy us because we can die. Things are temporary. There's like a limit to it, right? It's the law of opposition. It's like if we were immortal and everything was going right all the time, nothing would be special. But because things can be hard and because things go away and end, everything is like, just gets this, you know, a feeling of special because it's not permanent and it's not, you know, guaranteed. So anyways, point is like, I look at my life and I'm like, dude, like, you know, sometimes I wish I was like married, or I wish that I had some beautiful job and a ton of money or whatever, owned a house. But I'm like, but life is never going to be like this again, right? Because of our belief, we believe marriage is for eternity, even after this life. It's like this little teeny window, like life is already a teeny window, but being single at the beginning is an even smaller window. And it's like, you'll never be single again. So just enjoy it while you have it, you know?
Dude, that's so accurate, man. I love those words that you're saying.
It's really a lot to unpack.
The fragility, fragile extended, which I'm going to use. The fragility of life is what makes it so great.
Wow, it's beautiful.
But yeah, there's a lot to unpack here.
we're getting real deep real quick.
Okay, yeah, we can take this exit here and we can hop on.
Well, I was going to say
POs. Okay.
I had one last comment, and it's not deep. I was going to say it's funny because you know how you're watching the Super Bowl, and I've probably watched the Super Bowl every single year for my entire life. But this Sunday, me and Luke were in this little like storage closet that I'm in right now. We're just like click-clacking away on Melee, playing some Smash, you know? And he's all, dude. I'm like, what? He's like, the Super Bowl's on. I'm like, dang. We just keep playing.
No way.
I just did not care this year about the Super Bowl at all. I'm just like, because of all like the crazy games during the playoffs, I was like, this crap's rigged. And then like no teams that I cared about went, and I'm like, whether the Rams win or the Bengals win, I just couldn't care less. I like Joe Burrows a lot. Like he's a homie, and that's like one reason why I was excited, but I was just kind of like, it's another football game that I'm not sure is real or not. So I'd rather just sit and play Melee because I know that's real.
Wow. See, there's maybe more to unpack there than anything we talked about. Because I think you are actually a serial killer for saying all those things. I don't feel comfortable being around you.
We should end the pod right here.
Let me tell you why. Yeah, okay. And this is perfect. Again, let's take this exit. Let's hop into the POs and TOs lane. I think we've done this. It's been a while since we've done POs and TOs. It
has been a while.
And let me just start off with some things that are really getting me TO'd, okay? Because everything that you just said has got me TO'd.
TO'd isn't turned on or pissed off?
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant PO'd. I'm glad you clarified because I am absolutely pissed off beyond all belief.
Freak.
Yeah, just sit there.
Okay, I'm just going to take
and
this.
Listen. That was good. The reason why, Gabe, why do I go to Buffalo Wild Wings? Why do I do that? Why do I spend the extra money? Why do I go for subpar wings? Why am I there?
As you've said before, it's the experience.
Okay, and I'll say it again. All right, bud. I go for the experience. The Super Bowl, at the end of the day, unless you're a diehard NFL fan, it really is just another football game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, you have the halftime show, you've got the commercials, which might be the most overrated, like overstated part of any televised thing in the history of television. I don't know. If I were watching a normal football game, okay, and those commercials came on, now one part of me would have been like, holy crap, those commercials were really good for that game.
Yeah.
I agree there's such a thing as a good and a bad commercial.
Yeah.
They don't feel heightened to me. There might be a few more celebrities thrown in, but it doesn't.
I think it
feel
was better
any
back in
different
the
to me.
day. I feel like these days it's like they've cheapened things up a bit, but yeah.
For sure. So I mean that's got me PO'd. But what's got me PO'd is it's just a great time to be around family, which maybe you didn't have the opportunity to be.
Mm-hmm.
To have just a bunch of food. To if it's your thing, place some bets on some family friendly bets on who's gonna win and scores and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. That's really got me sad because this Super Bowl, even though it wasn't two teams that were talked about a lot, it was one of the best Super Bowls of all time for me. But the halftime show actually kind of lived up to the hype for the first time in a long time.
Wow.
Eminem was dope. Snoop Dogg was snooping. 50 Cent. Again, I'm not really into rap too much, but like it was like really entertaining and it was fun. Just being around the family, having a bunch of food, and then you have two teams that probably shouldn't have been there.
Right.
Which was kind of refreshing, where it's not just like the dominant teams every single year.
Yeah.
It was a great time. Great time. So I'm just, and as long as you had fun doing whatever you were doing, that's okay. But I wish you could have been here for that experience because it was great.
Well, yeah, and in my defense, I do agree with you because I love the feeling of like a bunch of family, friends, food, everyone's laughing, having a good time. We're watching the game. It's a great time. Like I love that. But being here, it's like, okay, if I had stopped Melee and gone out and chosen to watch the Super Bowl, it would have been maybe my grandma and grandpa would have been there, but like they're just like, chilling. They're not like hype. There's no food. Me and my little brother, Luke doesn't care about it, so he'd just be on his phone. And then I'd be like, well, I don't really care about it. I'd be on my phone. You know what I mean? Like it's the experience wasn't here. So if the experience is not there, then it's just a football game. So I'm like,
okay.
If there were some friends invited me, yo, like come watch the Super Bowl with us tonight, I'd be like, dang, man, I have friends, but I don't.
Ooh.
So,
okay, that's a whole other subject. We're not even talking about the Super Bowl anymore.
Right. So I can understand how that'd be PO'd, but I was PO'd that I didn't have that experience.
Well, I'm a little TO'd that you played Melee, and I love to hear those things because Melee is goated, of course.
Yes.
You played Melee. Did you play Melee for the entirety of the Super Bowl, or was that?
Well, it's been like a kind of a consistent thing the last couple of weeks where me and my little brother, towards the evening when we've kind of like gotten some work done and we feel pretty good about our day, we're just kind of like, hey, some Melee. And nowadays, because there's so much available technology and so many smart people doing stuff, they've literally ported Melee, a 2001 GameCube game, to the PC and made it online unranked matchmaking in HD.
Wow.
Yeah. And
wow.
I know. So like now it's like I don't have to go play on some old console on an old TV. So I whip out my computer, I plug in the adapter for the GameCube controller, and me and my little brother, usually we play against each other, but it always causes some contention like I talked about last time. This time though, lately we've been just doing unranked, taking turns against randos online.
That's so sick.
And it's a blast. And so I'm just like, so another game, League of Legends, and not to get all nerdy on people, but League of Legends is one of my favorite games. But it's always on PC. I always have to sit down, and the games are like 45 minutes to an hour long. And it's like, I just don't have time for that. Well, they basically took League of Legends, made it basically the exact same, put it on the phone, and the games are like 10, 15, 20 minutes long. So I'm like, I can play League on my phone, I can play Melee on my computer. Life has really stepped up in the last couple of years.
What a time, dude. What a time.
If only they made Rocket League, I'm just saying, and I.
It already is. So.
Okay, yeah. It's just not a Mac, and so I'm like, I'd have to get a PC or an Xbox or something. Or I could do it on the Switch, but that crap is sucky.
Yeah, I do miss some Rocket League. I won't lie about it.
But alas, I would say those are things that are TOing me, turning me on, baby.
Those sound like some TOs, bud.
Yeah.
I love to hear those. Okay, so you got some good TOs. I've got some good POs.
I have a PO.
Yes, Gabe.
So I posted a beautiful highlight on our TikTok and other social media sites.
What one are we talking here?
We're talking the one where I talk about how when some dude, some Chad, some douchey guy says bud.
Yes.
Okay, we are getting some mad hate on that crap, dude. And I don't really think people Man, people just read into certain things way too much and don't really get the vibe. Because like, well, you and I have literally said bud to each other 4 or 5 times during this episode. Sometimes it's a disrespectful tone. Sometimes it's a lovey tone. It's like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, it's all
Absolutely.
in context. And so when I explain some experience about some guy that's taller than me, that's a literal thing that happened. That's not like every time a tall guy says bud in any context, I'm pissed. I'm like, sometimes it's an older gentleman and he has, go ahead, buddy. And I'm just like, dang, man, you are a good guy. And I'm like totally happy about it. But I'm like, in that case, it was a real dude, a real chat in and out. And he gave off douchey vibes. And I was like kind of like peeved about it. But I'm like, I'm not like fuming about it the rest of the day. It's kind of like, well, that was annoying. And then I move on. And people were all like, imagine being so insecure that you care about when people call you bud, or like, dude, this guy's definitely short. I'm just like, people are angry about that one.
Yeah. I know, and that's funny you say that because I read some of the comments last night. I was like, hey, I wonder how the TikTok's doing, and I was like, oh dang, this one's doing pretty good, compared to our last couple.
Mm-hmm.
And I was reading these comments, and people were they were up in arms. They were pitchforks and torches, and they were pissed about it.
It's so crazy.
90 comments, and again, people, they just read way too much into it because like half of it is how do you say it? Satirical, yeah. Satirical,
yeah.
And half of it is like kind of like there's definitely truth to it, right?
Yeah, but we're just vibing, hanging out, talking, and making jokes. It's like that's what our podcast is.
Yeah, and people just they just did not pass the vibe check, my guy.
Dude, there's literally a dude that duetted it, like made a full video.
No way.
Yeah, and so I start out and I say my thing, and then it switches to him, and he's just like, dude, if you're gonna make a podcast, talk about something that's like actually like worth our time, not this bull crap. And then somebody in the comments was like, white boys should not be allowed to have podcasts. I'm just like, bro,
wow.
we are getting much hate.
That fuels my fire, and that makes me know we're onto something great. This guy says, no, you're just insecure. LMAO, no, you're just insecure. You're insecure, aren't you, pal? You're insecure, TBH.
So much insecurity
so insecure
stuff.
And defensive. Dumbest thing I've ever heard. How is that disrespectful? Tell me you're insecure about your height. You just got to hit him with no problem, big guy. Oh, that's actually good.
Yeah, no problem, big guy.
Who cares? I hate when people call me bud. Okay, that guy got it. Anyways, it was really, really funny. And again, that just makes me laugh and enjoy it even more. It's great.
Well, as they say, there's no such thing as bad publicity. So the fact that it, got us some followers and got as many likes as it did, hey, I'm happy.
At least you and I get the vibes, but everything else is out of our control.
Right.
So yeah, that's a big PO. I mean, it's kind of a TO for me, but maybe it's a PO/TO combo.
It's more just like it's a combo. I like that.
Here's another. I guess I wish I was TO'd a little bit more. This week I was a little PO'd. I'm walking out of Walmart with maybe $30 worth of items. Maybe some body wash, maybe a toothbrush because mine snapped in half.
A little aggressive on the morning routine.
Yep. Get those pearly whites. Maybe some watermelon Minute Maid for when I get a little thirsty at night.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know. Maybe 2 barbecue chicken pizzas. Okay, just normal day for me.
Standard.
Yeah, and it's in a Walmart sack. It's all. I think it fit in 1 or 2. It was not a lot, probably 2. It was in 2 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy and the greeter, I guess the Walmart greeter, whatever the purpose of that is.
Yeah.
Feels the need to stop me when there are people walking by me with cartfuls of food and items that could easily have been stopped. Yeah. He feels the need to stop me on my measly way to my van and check my receipt, which he's lucky I had because most of the time I crumple it up or throw it away by the time I get to the door.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. So if you're going to check one person, I feel like you got to check everybody. Kind of how Costco does it, right?
Yeah.
Secondly, if he would have thought I would have had the audacity to walk over and grab 2 Walmart bags with not by walking past the cash registers, then he thinks way too highly of me because I wouldn't have had the stones to do that unless I had brought in my own bags previously.
Yeah.
Like, what are we talking about here? Of course I paid for my $32 worth of stuff.
You're not a criminal.
Anyways, I was a little PO. Not that happened, but I just felt like I was the only person. Like, do I look like sketchy? Maybe I do.
Yeah, I think they do the whole like selective, like, hey, just like check random people. But I'm like, but like, why? I don't know. I just don't feel like that's very effective because 99% of the time you don't get checked. So I'm like, I feel like if you're gonna steal something, you're willing to take the chance.
Yeah,
you're not gonna be like, well, what if he checks us? Criminals are past that point of bravery. They're just gonna do it. And if they need to run past the 95-year-old greeter, they'll just run past him.
It's true.
So
I was gonna say, if I were to, for whatever reason, if I were to take that path in life, which I never would, I feel like I'd be a pretty elusive kind of guy. I feel like I'd be left, right, jab, spin, and I'm gone.
Right.
In the getaway car, I would dive in the car.
Go! We got
the groceries.
$30 with the groceries.
I don't feel like I'd have a problem getting past Marge.
Yeah, Marge.
He's got a walker for crying out loud.
Yeah, true. They don't. Yeah, I understand their system. I understand what they're going for, but
absolutely.
But we live in Utah, so I think it works here.
Yeah, I think you're good. Did you have any other TOs or POs?
I mean, TBH probably.
Okay.
But like you know,
I've got one more PO. Can we talk about Galentine's Day? What are we doing here? Okay, here's the thing: is typically these Galentine's parties consist of wearing like pink or purple.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm sorry, maybe not pink because pink is Valentine's. Maybe they wear purple, or orange. I don't know what these people are doing. And it's almost a protest of Valentine's Day because you don't have a significant other.
Right.
I think we just call it what it is. Okay, it's not a bad thing to be single. Obviously, yeah. I've actually way sidetracked. That post by President Nelson was actually way sick, where he's like, your relationship status doesn't define your status with the Lord or like your worth. That was actually really cool.
Wow. Yeah,
it was solid. Anyways, yeah, but let's just stop pretending that it's not just like a lonely girl's day, which they end up making it be. Like, why can't you just hang out with friends? Why does it have to be a Galentine's where you make Valentines and like, well, if you don't have a Valentine, then what are we doing? And like, why is it just like this passive aggressive way to celebrate Valentine?
Yeah,
I'm just not I'm not on board with the Galentines. That's got me a little PO'd. It does.
It's just okay. So if you were to say that to a girl, let's say we're hanging out with a girl and you're like, okay, Galentine's is lame. Like, why do you have to
get slapped?
Yeah, they'd be like, it's just us trying to have fun. Like, just let us have fun. And my only argument to that is like, okay,
dang, bro.
No, I get it. Like, you want to have fun. You want to like make it some occasion. But I'm like, it's just really extra. It's just like, I don't know. I feel like you and I have this natural rebelliousness against like doing the typical, I don't know. There's just the stuff that everyone normally does.
We just like to be different, dude.
Right. And what we are.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Preach. Yeah. Again, and if we post this on TikTok, which I hope we do, we're gonna get ridiculed. We're actually gonna get like death threats, I bet.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be a bunch of people that are super smart and know everything telling us that we're wrong.
Yeah, we shouldn't have a podcast, Gabe. We just shouldn't. If we're gonna talk about stuff like this, we should have a podcast.
Right. We need to talk about things that are actually worthwhile.
Yeah. So like Latentine's Day, which we kind of pitched last time, I might get on board for Latentine's Day. Galentine's Day is not doing it for me.
Is it because you're a lad and not a gal?
Mm-hmm. And that's what's got me PO'd.
Go precisely.
That's what's got me PO'd.
So, yeah, dude. Yeah, Valentine's Day was just another day for me. Tried to pull off a last minute date. Did not work. Okay, that's a little PO. It's back and forth for me. Okay, I get a one on one side of the day. I get a DM that really blows me away with how complimentary it is, and then on the other side of the day, I get rejected. You know what I mean? It's just this weird. It's a give and take. It's a push and pull. I like it. I'm used to it.
Oh, so it's a TO for you.
It's a mixture. It's a good experience.
You got some mixed ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, I can't relate. So
Did you have a little Valentine's get together with someone special? Or, we're not talking about that.
Gabe, I'm just here for the podcast. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Okay.
Okay, fair enough. I do have something to say though.
Me too.
Well, do you want to go first?
I hope so. It's a podcast. I'll go first.
Okay.
Here's a big TO for me.
Ooh.
Like it's massively raging and pulsing. It's just that's how excited and
the energy
ready I am to share this.
Yeah.
The van is done, my guy. Yeah,
Wow.
put your drink down. Talk to me. The van's complete. It is complete. We're talking TV. We're talking lights. We're talking bed. We're talking carpet. We're talking all the goodies.
Dang it.
Every one of them. Every single one. We're talking ukulele.
Hanger?
Hanger?
Like
What?
a ukulele hanger? A little spot for it to be?
I mounted it on the wall. Try again.
Dang.
Yeah.
Try again.
It's
So
insane, bro. It's actually insane.
So the vibes are high on that, is what you're saying.
They're disgusting. Yeah.
It's stupid.
And I'm gonna go get the windshield replaced and like really soon.
And then are you
like
gonna
today.
vibe with it for a while and sell it? Or are you just gonna immediately sell it? Or are you gonna keep it? What's
Well,
the plan?
I'm gonna list it. I don't know how quick it will sell, so it's kind of hard for me to tell.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I'll list it, and then we'll see kind of what happens.
Dang.
But dude, it feels so good to have been working on something for almost 2 months. Okay, like a month and a half. That's a solid 6 weeks, and then to be done and to see your end result, it's a beautiful feeling of accomplishment.
Dang, bro.
But I'll send you some pics or a video or something because it's really cool.
Yeah, that's a fat TO. I want to be able to see it and experience it before it's sold.
Well, you know what to do then.
A request that you drive down.
No.
You want me to come all the way up?
I do. It's probably about time, bro. You've been down there a fat month.
I went up to Payson on Monday.
Okay. Why?
Well, I went up there to help pack the trailer up for my parents, and then we brought stuff immediately back down to unload into a storage unit. So it was like a 4-hour stay.
Are your parents moving to St. George, or what's that about?
That is the plan.
It's like, seriously.
Yeah, so like basically they've always wanted to go back, and my grandparents are getting kind of old, so like we'll come out down and help. And to say that they act like it wasn't because of us moving down that kind of caused them to like make the decision, but like the timing's just too close, right? We're like we're going to St. George. 2 days later, they're like, "Hey, we've been thinking we're gonna go to St. George."
Too coincidental for me.
Yeah.
So are they like selling the house, or what are they doing?
Yeah, they'll sell the house, buy something down here, fix it up, do something, And we got all these plans to help my dad kill it in real estate down here. So yeah, so that's happening. But like, who knows? Honestly, the amount of dating prospects down here is slim, and any dating prospects I do find are all up north. So this, I'm a free man. I can do whatever I want whenever.
I was gonna say, yeah. Well, what are you thinking? Do you want to stay down there maybe a couple more months? Or are you thinking, look, I gave this a shot, kind of ready to come back, or what are you thinking there?
If I'm gonna give St. George a shot, and if it's gonna be a real shot, it's gonna be a while. It's not gonna be a couple months or 6 months. It'll probably be like a year or so. So I'm committed to St. George to see what happens. But yeah, there's definitely some worry every single time I meet meet a girl is a strong term. When I DM a girl and she responds, and then they're like, "Yeah, I just really moved away from St. George," or like, "Yeah, I live in Provo." I'm just like, "Gosh, everyone lives up there, dude." So that's like kind of can kind of be annoying. But on a completely different note, I have a TO.
Ooh.
Okay, and this one comes, it's directly related to a conversation we had last episode where we talked about where I said, like, do we need something to freshen up the podcast? Like, are we running out of steam? And I think that maybe, they say that everyone goes in like through roller coasters, ups and downs naturally throughout like their life, right? Maybe I was just kind of feeling a little melancholic.
Yeah.
Is that a word? We'll find out later. So I was just kind of feeling a certain way. Probably because, we were probably like shadow banned or something on TikTok. Anyways, so the last couple highlights have done really well. And last episode was full of highlights. I still have like a bunch to make. But you know me. I'm just taking it nice and slow.
Yeah.
So So the highlights did well, and it seems like our TikTok is kind of popping off. Like tons of videos are getting more views, and there's a lot of comments and follows. We're back up to 18, and I'm like, okay, so I'm feeling good. Not only that, but lots of feedback on the personal profile because I'm just kind of recycling, things that I said on the podcast on my own personal TikTok. But there's been a couple messages from people. One said, a girl Snapchatted me and sent me a chat and was just like, hey, I've just like finished watching all of the podcasts and I loved them so much and they were so entertaining. I keep it going, all this different stuff. Like just like was really, really nice about it. And I just told her like, I appreciate that because there's definitely some times where I'm like, I doubt myself, not in like a really, hurtful, emotional way, but just kind of like, you're just like, dang, like, do I got to step it up? Do I got to change something? Is something not working? Am I not doing something right? But I think that we're on to something. I think that what we're doing is good. It's just, sometimes it goes there's ups and downs. We have to stay consistent. Another positive thing is that we got access to Spotify video. So last episode, if you go on Spotify, it's a video playing. So you get the entire actual video on Spotify.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty legendary.
Yeah, that's a fat Tio.
Yeah. I'm big turned on.
Oh man. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're more on the up, and I want to be lying if I said I hadn't, felt what's the word? Not doubtful, a little defeated maybe. Again, it's crazy to think that because like generally speaking the pod has done really well.
Yeah.
And again, if nothing else, it's fun to hang out and record a podcast. Like, what a time that we could do that.
Yeah.
It's just a blast for me. Like, I love doing this. Really, like, it's so much fun for me. Like, and we've always talked about it, and like, I just love like recording it. It doesn't like feel a ton different than, like just hanging out, which is part of the great thing about it.
Yeah.
But I love doing it. I really do. And I'd be heartbroken if we never did. But yeah, man, I think we're always on the up. We're on the up and up. I do have some cool ideas for the next couple episodes.
Cool.
I don't know if we've reached our max with segments because we do have a few. maybe we need to revisit more of them instead of just making new ones.
Yeah.
But POs and TOs is the first thing. I think our first segment is just goated.
Yeah. I think what POs, TOs, and then dap me up. But also, dude, I was gonna actually bring up weird. Was it this week that happened? The Up&Up podcast followed us.
Oh yeah. Do you think that was like way passive aggressive and they were actually like ticked?
Yeah, they're probably like, what the heck? So there are these. I think it's two girls. I don't know much about them. I didn't really spend much time researching them. Just too focused on my own grind.
Have that time. Yeah.
No, but we got a follower on Instagram, and it literally is the Up&Up podcast on Instagram, and there's a podcast called the Up&Up podcast. Now, I just want to make a few distinctions here because I think it's completely different. One, they're the up space and space up, right? We're just Up&Up, no spaces, no spaces, Up&Up podcast.
Just cleaner.
Yeah.
Very clean.
Cleaner, easier to remember, all the thes and spaces. It's just kind of hard.
Yeah. And the logo and the faces and
so
completely different.
I just want to say, I think that's, don't sue us. They were first. I checked their old Instagram posts and I'm like, they've been doing it for a while, but we also have more followers. And now this isn't a competition. Right,
but it kind of is.
But I'd be lying if I didn't see it that way.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's got me TO'd. I love that.
So that was kind of a funny little experience.
That's great, man. That's great. What time are we at?
51 minutes, my guy.
Stop. Oh, are we seriously?
Yeah, we're done. That's insane, dude.
Hey, episode uno tres.
This is 13. Right? Oh shoot,
dude. 14.
Oh, this is 14 because Valentine's Day. We planned it.
Episode uno cuatro. Oh yeah, and you had that whole thing where you're like, oh my gosh, is it meant to be? It's Valentine's Day and it's episode 4. I was like, okay.
And you're like, that's a stretch.
Let me just stop you there.
Yeah, bro. So
okay.
Yeah, dang, that's it. It's sad to be over. Like I feel like whenever we record these and it goes really fast, I'm like, let's just record 2. But then I'm like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like whenever we record 2 in one sitting, the second one's always kind of a little less energetic because we're just kind of like lost luster. But I'm like, sometimes I just want to keep going. So maybe one day with that attitude, we'll make 2-hour-long episodes. All depends.
Sounds good, dude. Yep, I'm for it, bro.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, dang. Well, I guess this is goodbye.
Dang, bro. Hey, to our uppies, again, happy Latentines, Galentines, or Valentine's Day, baby. Whatever one you're celebrating. And, hey, we'll see you for episode 15.